created by
First lake, yeah.
by a dam. You know? The vibe before we went to Tamera was really great, but our expectations are huge, so we were in for disappointments only. One of them is that I won't be able to live there in the winter only, but rather only in the summer. Nevertheless, this is still a great place. So I'm now in Tamera for, I don't know, maybe an hour. I just had a swim in a little lake. It's just a pit, more like the first lake that they have. You can't swim there because it's protected. So it was nice. I met some people, and my very, very, very first impression is that people make not as much eye contact as I would have expected, but of course I expected a lot of it. We talk to some other visitors and go for a swim again, then have lunch.
It's so weird that you're not allowed to be naked here. I'd love to speak to someone who's been here many years.
Yeah.
Just to hear, not a judgment. Just to hear what is the...
Well, we're gonna be able to ask our questions later.
in the thing.
So what were you doing in Portugal?
In Portugal, so yeah, traveling around and visiting projects.
Where do you live?
I live in Israel, sort of.
Ah.
And then my best friend, who I'm traveling with now, he was diagnosed with cancer.
Mm.
So he was living in Germany and he came back to Israel to do the treatment. And after he finished the treatment, the chemotherapy and this, and like the doctor said that he's physically clean of cancer, but you know, everybody knows that there's always this thing of, you know, the cancer came back, and we went after all that and two very strong surgeries what we need. And we went together to Costa Rica to this ayahuasca community to drink ayahuasca, and then we went very deep. He also went to Colombia to drink with a shaman, and he's healthy now, and he was recently in Israel, did some tests, nothing, that's really, really beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah, I really believe in this cleanse and in yoga and in therapeutic use of psychedelics, and being in nature, I believe, is super healing. I really believe that each one of us, like, and also I believe that healing myself and helping people heal themselves, it's at the same time, you know. It's not like you finish something, now I'm completely healed and only now I can, you know.
Yes, it's a process. It's
process.
a road that
you know, I continue and still I have tools to help other people and just knowledge and, you know,
Yeah, it's about the process. Yeah. The more you know, the more you find out how little you know. We're here in our tent, and we got our first impression. For me, it's a bit. Well, it's exactly. Well, I didn't really imagine, but I'm not very surprised either. I'm like, okay. Yeah. I get the feeling it's more about taking care. They taking care of the land, of the little thing that they created. And I get the feeling that it's not as much about doing whatever you want, because that's more like what capitalism is like. So yeah, what I said, you find freedom in your own situation, right? And this is a different kind of freedom, physical freedom. But the freedom from your mind is not something you find outside of yourself. After having a nice chat with the guy from Israel and getting ready for the tour, we can finally ask our questions.
So, this is our solar kitchen, where a lot of you are standing is our solar kitchen, and it functions on biogas and solar. So biogas is an amazing technology. It basically is using the same bacteria that are in a cow or sheep's stomach to produce gas, which is then stored and burned. So you put scraps of vegetables and fruit and basically food waste. You chop it up and put it into a biogas machine. Inside here, in this tank, there is bacteria that's from the same bacteria that's from cow and sheep's stomach, and it produces gas. So on the roof here, you can see this is a bag of biogas. When there's not enough sun, sometimes we have to use the biogas more often.
So where does this bacteria come from?
The initial bacteria come from cow and sheep poop. But basically, this mirror would be turned so that the light is reflected on this plate here, which we lift up, and then that goes into the kitchen and is used. It creates quite high. I mean, I have cooked with it. It cooks really fast. So in winter, you don't really have enough sun for it. That's one of the drawbacks.
Tell the rain not to dry.
General,
Tamara,
so
yes.
follow
I mean,
some special ethical code,
Yeah.
some special social code. For,
Yeah. We have 3 basic core agreements in Tamara. Truth and transparency, which is kind of like basically making sure that we're bringing the things that need to into the public space so that it's not a private issue. Mutual support, which is committing to support each other, as opposed to, even if you don't like someone, you're still committed to mutual support. And then the last one, responsible participation. And so again, this hints at like you are agreeing to be part of this process. So you don't just sit back and like, you're going to sometimes need to do the dishes. You're going to need to sometimes stand up and say what's true for you. I mean, all of these are part of responsible participation in community.
I really looked forward to the part about free love and its essence in a commune.
Generally, I lived in a bunch of different communities, and what I would see in all of them is conflict, and often that conflict wasn't discussed, and so it would just like simmer. You would have like frustration and difficulty kind of boiling under the surface. Like many communities fail because of these issues. And then I will also bring up now the topic of love and sexuality, because these often play a core role in these dynamics that are happening. And often it's not discussed. Often it's one person is in love with someone else and their partner is upset, and so they quit, and these dynamics happen all the time in community. I've seen it in every community I've lived. I've seen love and sexuality as kind of these background forces where they're not talked about, and yet they shape a lot of what happens. People get angry, people get jealous, people get, want revenge or whatever, and that this is a huge amount of energy that often doesn't get a place to be expressed and worked through. And so we have tools here, and that's part of the work that we've been doing, where people speak the truth in public spaces instead of towards one another privately. This is a trust building tool that's been practiced and developed for many years. And so the people holding it really know what is needed. They also understand the underlying issues that all of us experience as humans that are stirring the things on an individual level. I know this creates a lot of questions.
Tell me love isn't true, it's just something that we do. Tell me everything I'm not, but don't ever tell me to stop.
prepared! All right! I'm prepared! You're prepared? Ah! Wow! Okay.
After the tour, there is a market with local Portuguese people and people from other nearby communes. I get myself a massage and buy some soap with sulfur in it to heal my psoriasis. The market turns into a party with alcohol and music, but by that time we are so tired that we miss the whole party and go to sleep. After having done not much of a morning routine, I sneak around the terrain for a while and find a cool hut in some woods where I think lots of people had sex. But look at this place. This is so amazing. I think they're still building something here, or there used to be something, some kind of building for partying. That was a love hut. That is literally just a place for pulling. Literally. They just made a place for it. You don't have to sneak past the toilet lady in the club, making the girl drunk and pushing hard. No, there's just a place for it. You can just ask. Amazing. And look, the tents, the solar panels in the distance. You can see maybe some kind of a more tent spaces. Well, they can expand, but you know, problem is that they are not allowed to. European Union changed the laws, and now the Portuguese government has prohibited buildings. That's why everyone's staying in tents and caravans. There you see all the caravans, right? So yeah, that's why it's one of the reasons why it's not growing that much, that fast. But going staying small is something very very nice too, I think. So I'm gonna be interviewing Daywalker in a bit. He has a YouTube channel. It's about Tamera. He lives here, and I want to just know his personal opinion and vision about Tamera, and yeah, just flow a bit with him in front of a camera. So be sure to check out his channel too. So this is Daywalker. His real name is Maurice, and he lives in Tamera. He's been here, well, you know, it's
At the moment I'm in Tamera, and I'm here for the season, which is like the guest season. There's a closing time in the winter month, and in the time where guests are coming to Tamera, I'm part of the team helping in the kitchen to make this possible. So I also will go in 3 weeks again back to Germany and then on my own travels. But I wouldn't say I live here really. Although I have been here a lot and I feel home here, and yeah. So the main tool that we have here in Tamera to establish, let's say, trust and transparency among a group of people is called the Forum. And it's group time, let's say, where we come together and sit in a circle, and we have a experienced community member from Tamera facilitating or holding the space. And basically we are invited to enter into the middle, one person at a time, to share something that's moving us, has been on our mind, on our heart, and we can make it transparent. Can be anything really. And after we shared, and oftentimes like, let's say if I go in the middle and I start making explanations and giving people reasons why I was feeling like this, but that's not the important part. Usually, oftentimes I can very much relate to what was shared and see myself in kind of that position, or I know this situation, and then seeing this person making it transparent is already a relief for me, where I feel like I'm not the only one, and that always creates trust and community in a way.
You have orgies here?
Orgies? No. I mean, I got back here like 2 weeks ago now. I'm coming from a 3 months vacation, I would say. I also had really a break of making YouTube videos and so on, to have some time for myself and see friends and family and all this. And now I come back to Tamera after this time, and I've been back now for kind of 2 weeks, and really just enjoying being back in this kind of field where, I mean, it's so different to be in the city, in Berlin or wherever, just walking in the streets or being with people in the subway, or all these situations, just even like being surrounded by advertisement or television when I go to a bar or things like this. It doesn't happen here. We have this, it's nature. And okay, we have a bar, and we have other places that make sense to have, but nobody's trying to sell a message or come from this point. So just to land here a little bit and be in this space is such a transformation already. And I mean, you asked now about orgies or whatever. I know that for me, at least, I'm just being. I'm happy to be back here and see what comes in a way.
See what comes, exactly.
She doesn't have to worry about it. She's very happy. She can have a good contact with another guy and we can have a contact, and her love to me doesn't have to decrease. Like, love is...
It's abundance in love.
Yeah, that's the point. Like, love doesn't get less if you share it. Yeah?
No, exactly, yeah.
So it's like light in that sense. And we can have a flashlight and show something and 10 people can see. And I can use it just for myself and I see, or 10 people see. It doesn't get less in that way.
Yeah, like the sun, you can stand in the shade, that's your choice, but the sun will not shine less.
Yeah. So this is really a place where we can not just think about these things, but be in a place where other people also are on this path, and then make experiences to really make this transition happening. And it's very nice. Yeah, so all these thoughts just around the free love term, that's why in the end it's really more, not so much mental, it's more about experience, and to observe these patterns and become conscious of what's actually going on inside, and then it becomes liberating to not follow impulse anymore where I know it's coming from fear, but to see where is it actually the impulse that's coming from love and support, and then very nice contacts happen and life can express itself.
Like unconditional love, like the love that children give and you get from animals, from pets, this type of love.
Unconditional love is also a good term, because it's unconditional, no conditions, free from conditions. So it's like free love free from conditions. I only love you if you don't go with other people. I only love you if you behave like this.
It's not cheap, but it's free.
That's a nice twist as well. Anyway, it's free.
Cool. I like to simplify things. Sometimes I do it a bit too much or too fast, but I like to simplify things. Cool.
I mostly wander off in my thoughts.
Me too. But that's good to just talk off the cuff, to just flow. you also get nice conversations. Let's go for a swim, because we're going to Moji.
Yeah, it should be interesting.
Yeah. We don't
I've
have
been
a
there
ride
last
back
year.
yet, but
It's nice.
cool. Alright.
All right. You do something like peace, love, unity in the end of your video? I don't know.
No, I
Now
don't.
it's
No, I
now it's
don't.
over, no, the video.
Now it's done, yeah.
I always do something in the end. And say, like, okay.
Oh well, we just found a guy that's going to another commune. It's called Moji. It's 30 minutes driving from here, but we don't really have a train. We don't have a ride to the station, and we already have tickets for the afternoon train that goes back to the place. It's far away where the airport is. Oops, I hope you didn't hear that. And then there's one more evening train, so we're gonna find out. We're gonna buy tickets, see if we can do that, and then just take a gamble. See if we can get a ride from Moji to Funchera, to the train station. And for me, that's I'm not used to taking these kind of gambles, so it's exciting. And we're gonna see another commune. Cool. So we were standing on the wrong side, and both trains came at the same time, and we just crossed in front of this train to get into this one from this side. So that's really something would never happen in the Netherlands.